Hello everyone, this is Maffuman, coach of StarCraft Star Battle. This is a 6-on-6 ship-building action game starting off with Bolivar. Bolivar is going to come on in there with Electromagnetic Storm, adds an Arbiter, going to add some area of effect damage. Yibnas going to come on in there with a more standard EMP to drain some energy. We got Ghetto SC coming on in there with an Electromagnetic Storm. It is Thor's Day around here somehow. LOFS, you're going to come on in there with range and wraiths and a little bit less speed because he has more range. Looks like we have a 5 versus 5 instead of a 6 versus 6. That's going to be a little bit more money for most people. You get a little bit more as well if you fandom, but you get a little bit more because it's a 5 versus 5 instead of 6 versus 6. Both still count. Dracula going to warp on in there and to get EMP'd and stormed and all of these things for his efforts. We got Protoss Plasma Shield at 4, going to be very good at being a tank. And it looks like Sinner Soul from the red side is going to work us off from there. Going to be, using that 4 laser batteries to do some damage. 1.51 speed. Blue side again, we got Dunks. We got Dunks with the 1.71 speed, that range, that backlash rockets. We got Chen moving in there. 1.61 speed, a little bit less speed, a little bit of range as well. Going to kind of battle it against the Arbiters. Alpha JC. Secret Missile. Secret Missile does a whole bunch of damage, 2530 damage, and chases for 15 seconds. It is a trade-off whether you want to go for the EMP to drain energy or the Secret Missile to do some extra damage. It's kind of up to you. I happen to like the EMP because kabam, look at that. EMP on Dracula and Alpha GC, draining their shields as well as draining their energy. So now Dracula's shield tank without any shields is going to be pushed back while Dunks and Sinner's Soul are trying to do some Dunks is trying to provide some protection while LFS and Sinner's Soul are trying to do some damage. Looks like we got Green Eyes back here, hanging out with the carrier, 6 upgrades, has warp as well. Is there going to be a back farming carrier? That is extremely risky. Carriers are like one of the most important ships, usually protected by most people, doing some long distance damage dealing, doing some stuff. He wants to make, he already has 835, 850 monies. He's just farming. The red side does see this. They are, pinging back there, saying, wait a second, there's a free carrier that can make or break a game. Looks like the blue side is going to make it on back to base. Dracula was safe for, shields. Now 4 phase disruptors. Fan-freaking-tastic. Going to be able to farm as well. He has some anti-matter missiles because he had the extra money. The big thing right there is the before the 10-minute mark, he has that particle disruptors at 4, and that's going to help with one-shot farm. Every little thing right here is going to give him, just one shot right there. These Phoenixes, these Vikings. Dunk's going to try to fight off Sinner Soul with Ghetto SC. I'm not going to be able to quite, kill them, but it looks like the red side delayed in their attack. Green Eyes made it all the way back to base, 16 upgrades on his interceptors before the first, 10-minute mark, 5-minute mark even. He has the warp, and he used that to make sure he got out of combat. Super, super risky. If he had gotten caught, if the red side was a little faster, if they hit him with anything at all, he would have had to be saved by his team. EMP being used on Bolivar. Looks like we got Sinner Soul 275, LOFS 487, Yibnas 819, Ghetto SC 504, Bolivar 377. Looks like LOFS is going to try to use his range to do some damage. Going to go back. The towers aren't in super amount of damage in the very beginning, in danger in the very beginning because they have 10 range and most other things don't. Even Chen, who upgraded his missiles, are at 9. Even Dunks, who upgraded them, are at 10. But he has to take some damage. Really, what they want to do is just stay in this Goldilocks zone. But the question is, how long? How long do they want to stay there? We got Dracula warping back with 481. Green Eyes, he's like, hey, why are these people in my farming zone? But he's going to warp on back to base as well. The red side is going to try to pick up a kill. If they get Alpha JC at the very beginning of the game, that is the, support unit. That's the, that's the helper, the medic. Show me where it hurts. We got LOFS getting some green gack love from defensive matrix from Yibnas, blocking a whole bunch of attacks. We got Ghetto SC fighting off interceptors. Only has Electromagnetic Storm and has Chrono Boost. Both of those 2 abilities are draining on his energy, and he doesn't have any money left over for phase disruptors. So he's only has the basic 8, which is okay for farming, but a little bit less good when these interceptors are at 16 already. We have Dunks moving around, Chen moving back. Both of them use the gases protection. So is Green Eyes right now. So is Dracula. Has 10 upgrades on the Protoss Plasma Shields. Dunks moving back. Dunks moving back has 891, basically 900. 220 for Alpha GC. Chen 424 and 150. Four from Dracula. Now Alpha GC is the Raven, is the magic guy, the healer, the damage dealer, the EMP person, drainer, all of that stuff. He doesn't have because he went for some cool abilities. Secret Missile, EMP, he has less money for range, he has less money for, burst lasers, his speed is decent, it's not the highest it possibly could be. But Ravens need a lot of money to support themselves, but don't have the ability to use Wraiths, Interceptors, whatever you want to call them, the little far distance reachers to help him farm, so he has to stay by his allies, prioritize them, and make sure that he's safe. Priority number one is not to die, which means, and he doesn't have the ability to launch out interceptors to side farm while he's doing that. So Ravens need a lot of money and are a little bit at a farming disadvantage because of their ship design. Same thing with Arbiters. Super important, need a lot of money, however don't have the ability to do that. Carrier at a far distance with interceptors. Unlike a Carrier, who absolutely does, but that's their main, thing that they do. Looks like Cinder Soul, 184, Bolivar, 204, Yivnas, 212, Get OSC spent his money already, and we got the LFS already spent his money as well. The red side is back farming. They weren't super hurt, but the blue side is just going to try to attack as much as possible. They're going to also pull back. With 5 versus 5, it is a little bit faster in how many upgrades are going to be available, how much money you have, and all that, at least in the very beginning. So some of the upgrades are a little bit more than what you'd expect. Sometimes that can get people really cocky. Looks like Alpha GC really wants that super sweet farm because he's only at 349. That's going to prevent a bunch of danger though. Givnas using that EMP, LFS, the laser batteries are at 9. The backlash rockets are at 11 range, but only 81 because we upgraded them 3 times, and we got a EMP being used. We got Green Eyes. He does have the vortex, but it is not quite there yet. He needs 200. He has 160 something. We got Alpha GC taken out by LOFS. LOFS already going to be hurt as well. We got the electromagnetic storms on there. We got a vortex saving Green Eyes from the Dreadnought up there. LOFS being saved by 1, 2, 3 buddies on him. But now they say, wait a second, we had an extra person here. We're going to do a double back, we're going to do a take back. We're going to see how much the blue side can try to get some damage. Do they have anything crazy like Nuke? No, they do not. But Dracula, gonna move on back to base. 1.61 speed, has a bunch of plasma shields. The plasma shields can be drained, but they also are Protoss plasma shields, so they provide armor as well. Green Eyes launching those interceptors. These interceptors are dangerous AF. We got interceptors at 17 upgrades, 46 damage each interceptor, launching a whole bunch. You can't really tell it right there, but they have 17 range, and they're going to do so much damage against these lightly armored targets. We're going to say lightly armored targets is a Raven, Get OSC, Bolivar. These Arbiters only have their phase disruptors and maybe have electromagnetic shield, magnetic storm to protect themselves. LOFS has the range, has the laser batteries, however doesn't have any area of effect. The toughest by armor person is this Dreadnought with 20 upgrades on his Terran ship plating. That's less than the Interceptors right now. The Interceptors are a dangerous threat. Get a little bit cocky, get vortexed, and then the plasma surge can even upgrade how tanky these interceptors are, and that can really spell some danger, especially for the healing units right here. It looks like Chen's going to move on in there. He's got the defensive shield. He knows that there's a danger possibility from LOFS to get a bunch of missiles, as well as everybody else. So he's going to try to be his own healer right now because there is no more Raven. There is no respawn. Once you die in this game, one mistake is permanent. So he's going to use his defensive shield, 2550. You can upgrade how much extra health that gives you. And he's just going to try to tank it on out. We got Cinder Soul. Cinder Soul 255 has explosive charge, doing some area of effect to a small little depth charge. We got a Yivnas 425. Let's see what he ends up using that on. It's very tempting to pick some cool, like really expensive ability up here. However, you have to balance out how many abilities here you have versus how well you can support them. And it looks like he's going to go for some burst lasers to farm and all that. Great use of that. 8 range. Doing something to protect yourself against these interceptors, which are only going to get more dangerous as the game goes on. We got Green Eyes warping back. Green Eyes warping back. 2 base with 703. Dunks 431. Chen 251. Dracula on the side 402. Has hardened shields now. That's going to super help against LOFS. LOFS does 81 damage with each backlash rocket. And he fires 6 of them at a time at 11 range, and 81 minus maximum of 50 with the hardened shield. Again, because now there's no healer, they're going to try to do some stuff to make themselves more tanky, or Dunks is going to go in here and get a whole bunch of damage, knowing that he is the damage dealer, and just hope and pray that he can stay away from people, which is his job as a frigate. And if Green Eyes can set up a kill with Vortex, that is very much a possibility. We got LOFS flying alongside, EMP being used. Dracula knows he's a target for EMPs. He knows he has to just try to support that anyway. 50 energy, and he has 400 potential. He can take, at maximum energy, he can take a EMP, he can take a feedback, he can take, some of that before he is out of energy, and his energy is only at 50 requirement. So, great use of ability right there. LOFS moving back, 1.82 speed. Chen can catch him, 1.82 speed, and 1.82 speed from Dunks. That's kind of the expected speed that you might have, 1.82. It just costs more for certain people to get that. Cinder Soul's 1.61 speed. He is the tank. He could get faster. It would just cost him another 300, 100 to get to 1.71, and 100 to get to 1.81 speed. 1.71 for Dracula right there. But the blue side is trying to make their advance. They have one less person, but they do have more farm right now. A lot of that farm, though, I will say, is the carrier. The carriers are always going to be extra farm E needing because they are just expensive. We have Ghetto C, Gibnas, and Sir Solj figuring out what they're going to spend their money on, while LOFS and Bolivar are trying to push away the blue side. Make sure they don't just get cocky and try to attack the battle stations. EMP being used on Dracula. He has enough energy, though, to survive. Now he's out of energy, but he should get it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 right there. EMP being used right now. Dracula and Chen. Dunks and Chen. Cinder Soul, 1.71 speed, plus he's getting boosted, so he's a little bit faster. He's going to try to keep on pushing. He can't quite catch them. Eventually, that 1.82 speed is going to be a little bit faster than, 1.71 speed, mathematically. But for a while, he's in the range where he can get it. Vortex being used right there. Now, all of the support units are outside the Vortex. All the damage units are inside the Vortex. The green GAC is being used to protect Ghetto C. These House Tempests happen to be flying in there. They're Sky Furies because they're Terrans, but they're basically, the equivalent right there. Green GAC being used on Cinder Soul. He's going to move on back. 1.71 speed and 24 base armor. Doesn't have his own protective field. Doesn't have repair bots. He should probably spend some of that money to do that. Would be helpful because they're just at this point now, Dunks is just massively damaging right there. 144 per backlash rocket, and each backlash rocket is fired 9 times, and each one of those 9 times is at 11 range, which is a lot more than most ships can do, except obviously the frigate. It's a frigate. We have Dracula moving back 1,000 money, Dunks moving back 424, Chen trying to defend. Has only 187, maybe wants to get a little bit of money right there, but he's just kind of flying around making sure that these warp prisms are not really attacked. Green Eyes choosing those Tempest guys. 17 range, and they do 180. Not very much right now because he has to spend very much money on them. Again, now that he's revealed his hand, that he has the Tempest, the red side can see that. However, now they have to also contend with flying around the Tempest. LOFS trying to take out the interceptors. He's flying into them intentionally. He has 15 laser batteries, but oh no, we have Dracula, the invincible, the invulnerable. Technically, it's vincible. It's just, you know, he's unable to be targeted by most things right now, most status ailments, and he's gonna move in there. He got super close, negated the range of the frigate, and now 1, 2, 3 healers right now are just barely there to you know, protect from Dracula's attack. Dracula's Attackula. Anyway, we got EMP being used, draining that energy. The invulnerability shield costs 150. He has 425, and that's, you know, good. It's on a 96-second cooldown right now. Vortex 1, catching the frigate. Now the frigate is in the gas. Is that going to be just enough though? The gas does provide some level of protection from somebody. I'm going to check to the go to the Dracula cam, and you can see that it does block out the vision of that frigate. Now when they can get somebody inside the Dracula cam, you know, inside the gas, then they can you know, see them and attack them. Will this be enough though? We're going to switch back to the everyone cam. And this is 1, 2, 3 healers. The power of friendship protecting LOFS. Bolivar flying in. He's out of energy. So is GetOSC. So is Yibnas. Although Yibnas uses you know, his own shields instead of energy to protect. Sinner Soul flying around has repair bots. Fantastic use. He has 350 energy to use the repair bots, which is 50, and explosive charges, which is 50 as well. There's no energy drain except for Chen. Chen could get lockdown, might have to get lockdown, but even if he did have lockdown, it wouldn't fully. It's every ship right there. All 5 ships are lockdownable. Should be locked down. Should get their energy drained, but because they're all targets, nobody's, you know, everybody's collectively a little bit more safe. The sardine strategy. You gotta fly in there, Sinner Soul. You gotta do that damage. You don't have the protective field though, so you can't quite chase down dunks, but you can scare them off. Look at this, off to the side. The Chen decides to go around the side. He says he could try to move in there, but doesn't want to get caught off guard by the entire red side. Makes the you know, run around to the side. LOFS now flying in there. He has a 1.82 speed being boosted a little bit by the chrono boost, and protected by the green gap, which is the defensive matrix, which surrounds the target with a shield that reduces most hits to the minimum damage, but it might last. You know, it's not perfect to last for 5 seconds, and some things leak. We're going to see GetOSC flying away from the interceptors, needing to fly away from the interceptors at 32 upgrades, 76 damage each one. Vortex being used, keeping on catching that frigate. That frigate keeps on getting caught by the vortex, and now it's outside of the gas protection right there. So Chen is going to fly in there. He's going to fight off Sinner Soul while these Tempests are in there. They're just the House Tempests. So Green Eyes could, if he had the energy, warp in his own Tempest. Will this be enough though? LOFS flying on the way out of there. Interceptors being used to take out the Sky Furies. Chen trying to you know, attack on in. The cloaking field being used. That is Bolivar. Bolivar using that cloaking field cloaks the friendly neighborly units. Cloaks friendly nearby units. While active, the Arbiter cannot be cloaked by another Arbiter. But basically, old school Arbiter bubble of invisibility. Protecting Sinner Soul. Dracula couldn't see him, couldn't shoot him. It does slightly put you at danger yourself, because if your allies can't be seen but you can be seen, you will be targeted. However, that also does allow your allies to escape from many harrowing situations. LOFS flying back. He's doing it relatively slowly because he wants to try to take out as many interceptors as possible. Yes, the interceptors can be warped in. Warp in is a very it's somewhat you know, energy intensive. 125 is about the standard, but it does take a long time to go on cooldown. We got Green Eyes warping on back. Gonna see if he has warp technology. He does. That helps him. He can just warp back right now if he wants to, and he is in fact doing that. We got Dunks moving back. 1.92 speed. Dracula moving back. 1.82. He spent that money. He's a tank. That cost him a whole bunch. However, it's worth it if you can keep away from the guys. Now, the Ravens and the you know, Arbiters might end up being faster than you regardless, but at least you put in the effort to make yourself 1.81 speed. And that does help you run away from bad situations a little bit easier. these storms everywhere, just barely tickling these interceptors. They do, at least 125 to light units, plus whatever is your maximum energy. A little bit of a damage right there. So 235 extra from Bolivar and 242 extra from Ghetto SC. That's just dependent on how much potential energy you have. But each person is just trying to protect themselves from the interceptors, while Yibnas, in fact, is very, very, in danger right there. Critical situation. Ghetto SC trying to protect Yibnas, and Bolivar protecting everybody with a cloaking field. Cloaking field, providing that level of protection, even at the cost of energy. Very much worth it. Yibnas using a defensive matrix to give some love to LOFS, who's guarding their caboose right there, and Yibnas makes it on back to base. Fantastic 1-2-3 combination. Ghetto SC is getting feedback about 30 minutes into the game. Fantastic. Eventually, is really good to use. Can drain energy. Can make Chen less tanky. Can make Dracula a lot less scary, because Colossi are very energy dependent units. But once they get a good store of energy, they are super dangerous and super tanky. So Ghetto SC finally has EMP or feedback. Yibnas has had EMP basically this whole game. Bolivar doesn't have feedback, but obviously he used it on something. That something was Cloaking Field, and he needs potential energy to do that as well. And so it was worth it. Very much in this game, there's usually a counter for most things. Sometimes you don't have the money for it. Sometimes if you do have the money for it, you had to spend it on something else. Timing is everything. Once you upgrade something, you can't un-upgrade it. So it is very dependent on the situation. As the game goes on, though, all these units basically get more and more powerful. I don't really like the terms early, late game units. I feel like every unit can be super important if they get a lot of farm, if they focus on farming, if they're allowed to focus on farming, if they're allowed to do things like that. Not every ship can do that, because many of them have to focus on other things. They have to focus on protecting their allies instead of farming. They have to focus on getting range when an ability would have been more helpful. They try to get a kill early, and therefore they didn't get as much in the way of farming that they could have. But looks like Dunks 1.92 speed, very speedy. Gonna try to move on in there. 18 upgrades on the Backlash Rockets, 11 upgrades on the Backlash Rockets for LOFS, because he spent all this money on laser batteries. Laser batteries are great in against capital ships. I mean, they're not bad. They do damage, but they don't do as much damage as Backlash Rockets. His Backlash Rockets aren't as big as Dunks, but that's because Dunks didn't have to deal with interceptors. At level 41, 94 damage. We have Dracula moving in, trying to attack. He can't be energy drained right now. He has a thermal lance, and he was just trying to do some damage. That fantastic use of Cloaking Field by Bolivar. We have these House Tempests attacking the top tower. We got Green Eyes attacking the bottom tower. Chen has the nuke. He has 400 energy, so he doesn't have enough energy to use it. He can choose to use his defensive shield. He's going to use the defensive shield. LOFS trying to push them away, and Dracula does take out the battle station along with Tempest, and that's probably good enough for the blue side. They're going to try to go around the side. We got Green Eyes. He has Vortex. He has ability. He has the Tempest ability. He's just going to fly in there, and it looks like he's going to try to use the gases protection. And Chen is taken out by LOFS. And we got another frigate in the hole right there. We got Sinner's Soul. He should probably just fly in there as well to protection. Not a bad idea. Actually, very smart right there to fly into it. Yes, he's immobilized right now, but the entire support team is flying around there because they had to protect themselves against interceptors. Bolivar taken out by Green Eyes. 41 interceptors. Interceptors are very dangerous, and that does take out Bolivar. Sinner's Soul taken out by Dracula. We got maybe LOFS, another interceptor shot or two would have taken him out, but he has two allies right there. It looks like now the blue side is going to start to attack. It is a 3 versus 3 though, so it looks like now we have a Colossus to be the tank for the blue side. We have Dunks to be the long distance damage dealer, and the carrier to be long distance damage dealer, but not directly. You know, using the interceptors, using the fancy abilities, using the Tempest to do the damage for you, as opposed to flying in there with you know, your archery skills with backlash rockets. Looks like Yibnas is the you know, Raven healer magic unit for the red side. Another magic unit right here, Arbiter, sort of similar, but not quite the same. They fill out similar roles, but do it a little bit differently. And LOFS flying on in with the frigate, and he's the archer in this one as well. So no tank, but it looks like interceptors are just so dangerous. Get OSC flying in there, sees the interceptors, uses the electromagnetic storm. Every interceptor that he can you know, storm with them is going to just take some damage. 125 was 256, but he has to use range and his own speed. Interceptors always move at 2.5 speed, so if you're a little bit faster, you can protect yourself a little bit better. It's a race. They're going to win eventually until you upgrade your speed to 2.5, which is just, you know, a lot of money. Feasible, just very unlikely. We're talking like, I think it might even be up to the 3,200 amount. It looks like the blue side is going in there, gonna try to attack this tower. But look at the red side, gonna make a desperate attempt to go in there. They have the blackout, they have the 3 people behind them, and it doesn't look like the blue side reaction time will, now that the blue side is, they're kind of rallying around. They have the Tempest that he's gonna set up, they have the Vortex, but the red side knows this stuff. They're gonna fly in there. We got Yibnas going in. He's gonna be attacked by these House Tempests, and he's taken out by Dunks as well. Interceptors flying in there, attacking Get OSC. Get OSC just really just in danger right there. Can only use electromagnetic storm so many times before he, I think, is going to be taken out right there. Green Eyes takes him out right there. We got LOFS flying back to base, but there's so much damage potential right now, and that counterattack was counterattacked itself. And now it looks like the Tempests are going to just you know, start attacking this battle station. These are the House Tempests. These are the Green Eyes Tempests. 13 upgrades, 400 damage per you know, Green Eyes Tempest, and 360. That battle station is taken on out. It looks like this frigate is just going to quit right there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Oh wait, no, he's still alive. And LOFS has died, but somebody must have taken over his ship. It looks like LOFS is the new reborn LOFS is going to have to contend with a fully armed and operational battle station right here of the invulnerability shielding wielding Colossus. Gonna keep on attacking. LOFS is taken out, and that is going to be a good game. I hope you guys enjoyed this for real this time. Make sure you guys press like, press subscribe, send your replays to MaffumanCasting. Press like, press subscribe. We are doing StarCraft Star Battle all the time.